Welcome, Dina Atamed, for today's podcast. We just want to thank you for accepting our invitation. Today's podcast is on doing business in the Middle East energy market. Just for our listener, you have been a Deputy General Manager, Project Management Specialist, Researcher, and Project Coordinator for quite a few great renewable companies in the Middle East. You also won the Energy Innovator of the Year Award for 2019 for the Middle East region. I just want you to tell us more about this award.
Okay, thank you very much for this highlights and this introduction. I'm glad to be part of your this campaign, important campaign. Actually, in regards to the award, I was awarded by the American Engineers Association in Washington, D.C. It was for the outstanding accomplishments in applying innovative practices, principles, and procedures of energy engineering, as I was involved in designing, executing, and developing portfolio of projects with different scales and different schemes. For example, on utility scale and retail scale. And actually, through my work as a project management specialist at Jordan Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency Fund under the umbrella of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, I was involved in developing and designing different financing and supporting schemes for adapting renewable energy and energy efficiency applications for local communities and the most subsidized tiers of tariff consumers in Jordan. So it was targeting the local community and targeting those projects were developed in poverty pockets, etc. So the most innovative schemes that was recognized and it's applying their partnership with the private sector through the corporate social responsibility, through allocating this budget amount and support for local communities for heating and providing the public schools with the renewable energy sources. This is basically why I was awarded this award, and also through as an engineer from civil engineering background who worked in renewable energy projects. So it was also an additional edge for me to get this award.
Congratulations. I think that's great. We will go straight away into the topic of today. My first question to you is how is doing business in the Middle East energy market? Is it rewarding? What are the risks, in your own opinion, or based on your own experience?
Again, your question, what the risks
what is it like doing business in the Middle East energy market? What is it rewarding, or is it risky? And what are the risks?
The Middle East and North Africa is at the front of green energy development and has been moving away from the conventional resources. As part of the global transition, also the Middle East countries sets targets, different targets to reach through the clean energy transition.
I learned from what you said is that, it's good business basically, but there are challenges, but the Middle East, and I agree with you, because Morocco, for example, is at the forefront, of renewable energy. In North Africa, for what I do know, I think it's good business. My second question to you is, are there renewable energy support mechanism in place? Is the government have, incentive to encourage people to come and invest in renewable energy, for example, in the Middle East?
Actually, the incentives was through different policy and regulatory reform aspects also. For example, the Middle East governments sets their targets and also try to attract the external investors and the foreign investors and local investors to in order to enable the market for development through implementing these projects through different schemes like and business models like the private-public partnership, through putting some set or sorts of incentives for developing such projects. In addition to the access to finance for those projects from different financial institutions. In addition, that what supported this, that the international financiers, especially who are working in the development areas, are targeting the reduction and the decarbonization of the economy to reduce the GHG emissions, are very interested to finance such projects and investment opportunities in the MENA region. For example, in Jordan, it was a very successful story under the direct proposal schemes were implemented through announcing different rounds for developing renewable energy and especially in specific technologies in wind and renewable and solar energy. There's many attractive aspects where a key driver and key success for attracting the foreign investments in round 1 and round 2, and now there is around 3 in pipeline. For example, the private-public partnership scheme, the tax exemption, the ceiling price, the feed-in tariff scheme. Also, the government guarantee for the power purchase agreements were signed. It facilitates the access to finance from the investors for the investors to get the right investments with the good conditions in order to develop and invest in those projects. Where and also I believe the duration of the power purchase agreement, which stays for around 20 years, it was also were a very attractive period for investors to develop and sign projects for renewable energy projects.
You mentioned something very interesting, tax incentive. Tell us more about it. I mean, which kind of tax incentive do you have, for example, in Jordan or in the Middle East in general? Any country have a specific tax incentive? Is it like 0% tax for the next 5 years, or 5% when you want to launch or create a renewable energy company?
Actually, there's two incentives. Actually, Jordan issued the bylaw for tax examination on the equipment of renewable energy and energy efficiency. So any project are regardless what the size of it and what the scheme of it. For example, we have different schemes on the utility level. We have the PPAs and we have the EPC, and we have also on the retail scale the wheeling scheme and the net metering. So any equipments are related to the renewable energy and energy efficiency equipments are have zero tax, exempted by zero tax. and this is supported the procurement and the most of the actually it was a key incentive for providing a competitive pricing within the PPAs and also within for the systems themselves. In addition, the projects were signed under the PPAs are also exempted from tax for the income tax for a grace period of 3 to up to 4 years for round one.
Okay,
and
thank you so much. Yeah,
this is the first round to be developed and operated in Jordan. There is many changes on this due to the market change and some policy amendments, but it was a key success at that time to make those projects happen in Jordan.
My last question to you is concerning energy transition. You know, this. Thank you so much, by the way. We're doing good so far. So my last question to you is concerning energy transition. I would like to know, you know, the Middle East is rich in fossil fuel like oil, you know, gas and stuff like that. What's your feeling about energy transition? Do you think that the Middle East should, you know, for climate change reason, you know, you can see the impact of climate change throughout Africa. For example, drought, flood, and stuff like that. Do you think that the Middle East energy sector should move away completely from fossil fuel? You know, or how, what's your feeling about it? And embrace renewable energy completely.
Yeah. Actually, we saw some serious steps towards the energy transition and towards reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. Actually, most of the policy makers are intent towards decarbonizing the economy. There's I believe there's a good steps were taken. It's there is still a challenges on making this transition within the announced targets and announced targeted years. But I believe, in my opinion, even there is a slowdown on some movements or towards the clean energy transition, we can't be separated or be out of the global movement and the global transition. So whoever never did the right steps towards the clean energy transition, we might find ourselves in the near future living in the past, and everyone is moving on. So the new technologies will be there, and we need to adapt with it and be ready from the infrastructure. The infrastructure should be ready. And also from another aspect, you know, the Middle East countries, most of Middle East country, even the most the biggest markets of it, suffering from different challenges where it impacts the socioeconomic, the job creation. So relying only on the conventional resources, it would be not enough for the near future to reach the needed economic growth. So I believe the clean energy transition will support the growth for the economy. and will support meeting the upcoming demand on power generation and consumption. Briefly, there is a global transition, and we can't be a part of it. And there is some good steps in the right way.
Thank you so much, Dinah. We came to our end of this podcast. Just for our listener, I just want to sum up some of the key things that Dinah have highlighted. Basically, what she said is that, some of my key takeaway from what she said was that concerning doing business in the energy market in Middle East, there are challenges. One, secondly, she mentioned that it's good business, and she said the emphasis is on renewable energy. She also mentioned that there are tax incentives and other incentives, for those wanting to do business in the energy market. She said that clean energy transition will support the growth for the economy. So she encouraged, national economies in the Middle East to transition toward clean energy, good for growth and economic growth. I hope, Dinah, that my key points or my key takeaway was absolutely in line with what you said. Thank you once again, for taking time to join us today. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.